Hello, I'm Jack Allen. I'm your host of the Local Business Show, and today we're going to be at two different businesses to give you an insight of what's going on in Bethel Park. Well, we're here today with Veronica Burton from First Step Financial Solutions, so welcome to our show.
Thank you.
And Veronica, exactly what is First Step Financial Solution and how does that help our residents?
Okay, First Step Financial Solutions is a credit score improvement company. We are certified credit counselors. We're board certified. We've studied the FICO score system, so we're score certified where we know how the FICO score works inside and out.
Okay. How do people obtain a credit score? What's all involved in that?
Well, the typical client's going to go to FICO.com to actually get their real credit score. Anything that's on Credit Karma, Credit Sesame, those are in the industry, we refer those as FICO scores. Because they're not your true FICO score. In order to understand what your FICO score is, if you go to the bank and you're denied for a loan, that's usually because your score is lower than what you think it is. Because if you've been following Credit Karma, it's about 100 points off.
Okay, and so just for our viewers, how was a credit score established?
Established, or how?
So in other words, if I went online and my credit score was 720,
it's a good score,
or it was 510, how was that number come about?
Okay, that number comes about it's just imagine a pie wedge. 35% of your score is gauged on your payment history.
Okay.
How many times do you pay on time? Okay. 30% of your FICO score is your usage. Your usage should be 3 to 7% is what you want on a usage. So if you have a $1,000 credit card, you should not have more than 10% of that used. 7% is really a good number. So you want to stay in that range, okay? And then you've got 15% of it is based on length of credit. How long have you had your credit? So if you're somebody like me, I have my first credit card when I was 18. I will never get rid of that credit card because that develops my credit history. So the longer your credit history is, the better your score is. And then you've got 10% that's new credit, and 10% of it is type of credit. So the credit FICO score looks at, they want you to have 6 credit cards. About 3 of them are revolving store cards. The rest of them Visas, MasterCards. You want to have a couple installment loans, whether it be for cars or personal loans, signature loans, or a mortgage on there. So that all makes up your credit mix.
Okay, so because I was told years ago that at the time, and actually I don't think they do it anymore, but you got an application for a credit card almost daily. Now, if you take advantage and you fill those out, does that hurt your credit?
It does. It does. If you should really, a lot of my clients that I will have, I will see anywhere from 30 to 40 inquiries. That's what those are called. You're inquiring on credit. That's really way too many. You want to keep it around no more than 2 a year. And there really is no reason to have more than 2 credit inquiries a year, unless you're mortgage shopping or you're car shopping. And sometimes it's better to go to the bank and get approval for a car before you go to a dealership.
Okay. And what your company does is help improve the credit card scores?
Correct. We will work with you. It's a team effort. It's not all on our company. It's a team effort. You have to put in the work. And I will tell you what you need to do to improve your score. And on the back half, I will do what I need to do on my end with dispute letters and working behind the scenes because I know how to write the letters that need to go into the creditors, collection agencies, and so forth to help get derogatory marks off of your score. to get misinformation. Your names are incorrect. If you have a bankruptcy on your credit report, is it listed correctly? I can't get a bankruptcy off. Anybody that tells you they can is really wrong, but you can make sure that the information is correct. Is your line of credit, your available credit, is that information correct? If you have $300 on a credit card and your credit score is showing no maximum line of credit, that's skewing your usage. So you want to make sure and find out, well, that Discover card has a $3,000 line of credit. So we want to make sure that gets on, because that'll help bring your score up.
Okay.
So those are things we look at. We analyze all 3 credit reports and look for all the errors that are on the credit reports.
And that's something that you do.
That's something that I do. A layperson's not going to know what, they might pick a few things up, but somebody who hasn't been schooled in it doesn't know all the idiosyncrasies of it. So I will analyze all 3 reports, and I will make you, I do an audit, and then I present you with the audit. And it's a 17-page audit typically. That audit includes education material as well as everything that I found that we can work on your credit together with.
Now, you mentioned if you had a bankruptcy, will that stay on there forever?
7 years.
7 years?
Yeah, it's 10 years. It's 7 years is typically what it is, but nobody can use it after 10 years, but it does stay on for 7.
Okay. And that's what you do on your half for your clients. What can they do other than pay their bills?
Well, they can stop applying for credit cards. Stop.
Okay.
Stop applying for credit cards. Stop opening new credit cards up. Pay your bills on time. You have 2 due dates on your credit card statement. Most people see them but don't know what they're for. You have your pay by date. Everybody knows that. That's the due date. Okay. There's also a statement end date. The statement end date, so say it's April 20th is your statement end date. The due date is May 2nd. So you know that you have to pay your bill by May 2nd.
Okay.
Okay. But April 20th is your due date. So realistically, you want to make that on April 17th or 18th, you want to pay that bill. Because when you pay it before the statement closing date, then it doesn't report on your credit bureau. So if you have a $1,000 line of credit and you used $800 up and you don't want, that's over your 7%, but you don't want the bureaus to know that you've used it. So pay off that if you can. Some people want their credit card, their mileage, air miles and things like that.
Right.
Pay it off before the closing date on the statement, and you will not hurt your FICO score.
So if you have a credit card, because I do notice most people, or a lot of people, they don't carry cash. They use a credit card or debit for everything. But if they use a credit card, does it affect their score if they charge a lot and pay it off at the end of the month, or they just use their charge card and just pay it as much as they want?
You want to carry a little balance, because that shows the bureaus that you've got responsibility of. Because if you pay it off before, if the bureau never sees that you've actually put money on your credit card, they don't know that you've got a payment history.
Okay.
Okay, so if you want to charge, I always tell people, charge a little, as long as you're in that like 7%, let it report, and then go ahead and pay it off. Yes, you're going to pay a little bit of interest, but you're showing a payment history. You're showing a cycle of history, which means that because you're showing that you're spending, you're showing you're paying off, therefore you're a good credit risk.
Okay.
Because everybody is scored equally on this, so if you want a loan, it's all driven off of your FICO score.
Okay.
Has nothing to do with anything about you personally or where you live at. It is your score and how you handle it.
Okay. Now, the clients that you have, is there a certain number that you work with? In other words, if I have a score of 750, then you're not going to help me, correct?
It all depends. I mean, once you're at 720, 730, if you're at 720 and you're at 850, which is the max on a FICO score, 900 on a Vantage score, you're getting the same. You're getting the same offers.
Okay.
So there really is no, unless there's something on that report that you know that you need help getting it off. If there's something on it, I mean, you can have a derogatory mark on your score that you can't get off. Do we need to take it off? Sometimes taking it off actually hurts your score.
Okay.
Sometimes, and only we can tell you that by looking at what it is just leave it alone because it'll go away. And if you've got a 720, pretty much you can just most likely leave it alone unless it is something that doesn't belong there. If you've got a judgment against you that doesn't belong there, we need to get that off. You can still have a high credit score and still have a judgment showing on your credit report. We need to get that off.
And how long does it typically take for when someone sits down with you for the first time that the score will be changed?
No guarantees.
Right.
There is never. We do not guarantee anything, but typically you'll see some activity in 30. Well, in 30 days, I like to say 45. Really, we have. By the time I actually do my first round of dispute letters with the bureaus or the furnishers or the collection agencies, they have 45 days to get back to us.
Okay.
So they're supposed to take care of it in 30 days, and then you got mail, so we like to say 45 days before we actually see some movement. And then all that information comes back to you, not to me, and then it's up to you to get me that information. You send me the letters from the credit bureaus, and then I will take the next step. Sometimes they don't like the letter that we sent them, so then we have to do something else, and we will send a second round out. And sometimes they'll go ahead and take it off right away on the first round letter. Depends on what it is.
Okay, and typically, what can a person do to increase their? In other words, if they have a low report of 600 would be low. Will that grow itself as they pay off, or is that pretty much going to stay there because that's their habits?
Oh, that's a well, sometimes it is their habits, so they're going to stay there. Okay. If they truly want to repair it and fix it, then if they listen and because I can become the mother, where whenever I look at your credit report every month with you, I'll look at it and say, now, and I will ask you, so why did you do this? This is going against what we talked about. But there are some times where your usage is really important. How many times you try to open up credit, and your usage and paying on time, those alone should boost your score a little bit. Sometimes it is not having enough credit will drop your score. If you're somebody who has closed all of your credit card accounts out, that has just hurt you. So we have programs that will help you reboost your credit and getting good credit cards that are not going to hurt you. We'll get those credit rebuilder cards. And somebody who's looking to buy a mortgage that needs to show something, we have a rent program where we can put your rent on your credit report so that it looks like it goes on like a mortgage payment.
Okay.
And then that way, when the mortgage banks start to look at you for a mortgage, they're going to see that rent history for 2 years, and they're going to know what that'll improve your credit score and show them that you are a good risk for a mortgage.
Okay. And you did, I just want to clarify that you said you should have 3 to 6 or no more than 6 credit cards.
Really, there's no need to have any more than 6. Right.
But out of those 6, you were saying
three department stores.
Like a Macy's or...
I always say you should have a Lowe's and a Home Depot and pick another department store. And the reason I always say Lowe's and Home Depot is because those 2 cards alone usually give you 6 to 12 months back, same as cash. So if you're going to buy a large purchase and you divide it out, if it's a 12-month program, divide it out by 11 months. And that is what you're going to make your payment for the next 11 months. That way you don't fall into that 12-month and have to start paying interest.
Okay.
Number one. Number two, if you're a homeowner, you're going to need a Lowe's or a Home Depot card. So it's always good to have that in your pocket. Then you could pick a Penny's or a Macy's or whatever as another one, but never run them up. And then you always want to have a Visa or MasterCard. So pick your,
Southwest.
There you go. So so if you fly a lot, you travel a lot, you want your Southwest points, use your Southwest points.
Yeah.
And you can use that card as cash. I taught somebody to take a card of a store that they really loved, and he used it as his debit card. But every week he would pay on it, so he never really had to pay him. It would report eventually onto his report, but it was never a high usage. And he maximized his bonuses. So as long as you are you do your due diligence,
Yes.
and you make sure that you are making those payments, they can give you a lot of rewards.
Okay. All right. Well, we appreciate the information.
Sure.
But just as closing, if you want to make like a closing statement of why our viewers should get a hold of you, and basically in a nutshell, what can you do to help them?
Well, you can get a hold of them if you're looking for a car or a mortgage, or you just are curious about how to improve your credit score. Reach out to us. We'll sit down. We'll do an audit. You'll have to take a credit monitoring offer that I do give you. That way, I can look at your credit report at the same time you're looking at your credit report. We do the audit. It takes me about 3 days to put it together for you, and I can educate you. Nobody is ever educated in school how to handle your credit. Your credit can control how much insurance you pay on your car, how much insurance you pay on your home, how much interest you pay on your purchases that you do make. Also drives your interest rate on your credit card that you have. There's so many factors involved in that. So if you're looking to take a step up in life, come talk to me.
Okay. Well, we thank you very much
You're
for the
welcome.
information.
Sure.
And good luck to you and your company.
Thank you.
Our stop today is at Lois Johnson Learning and Child Care Center on Brightwood Road, and I kind of know it very well since I pass it at least 3 or 4 times a day. And our first guest today is Ashley Bell. She's the co-owner and director, and we want to talk to you a little bit about exactly how long has this been here and what is your position with the company.
So my partner Jill and I just purchased the facility in April of this year, April 29th to be exact. This business at this location has been here since 1974 by the original Lois Johnson. Prior to that, she was over at St. Val's Convent. 1950 is probably the earliest that I can see that it goes back to, but it could be even further back than that. Her son actually sent us a picture of their kindergarten class of 1950.
Wow.
So here at the center, I'm in charge of just the day-to-day business doings of everything that's going in, looking at, right now we're looking at new curriculums, streamlining that process. We are helping out the Bethel Park School District with a new KRAP program that'll be housed at Washington Elementary School. And what that consists of is if your child's in morning kindergarten, then they have the option of spending a whole day with us. They'll go to a PM session, or vice versa. If they're in a PM slot, they'd come with us in the morning to have all-day care, kind of like an all-day kindergarten program.
Now, would that just be at the one elementary school, or, I mean, with the amount of schools that we have here, is that open to any person that's in kindergarten?
It is open to all kindergarten students. It's just going to be housed at the Washington Elementary location. Ben Franklin kids will come here to our center. They always have, and Bethel Park provides bus transportation for them. We provide transportation for all the other elementary schools to the Washington location.
And when will that program start?
That starts the first day of school, August 21st.
Okay, and they can still sign up for that program?
Yes,
or?
we are still signing up for that program. We have lots of spots open.
Yeah, because I realize that, you know, when you have half-day kindergarten, a lot of parents try to figure out, well, what are we going to do with the other half day? So now that's an option.
Right. For our center, we're more of a home family type atmosphere. As you can see, we are a house. Each of our classrooms are divided into actual rooms. We have very small numbers as well. Our largest class will be 10, and they go down based on that.
Okay. I did notice when we were getting some of the facts here that you actually start at 6 weeks old.
Yes, 6 weeks old all the way up until the school age program goes to 12 years old. If you do turn 13 in 6th grade, we do not kick you out. You can continue throughout your 6th grade year.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Jill, and my main role here at Lois Johnson is more or less dealing with the children, helping to implement curriculum, communication between parents, staff, any concerns that parents may have, any questions that they may have, and just more or less welcoming children here and making them feel safe and comfortable.
How many teachers do you have here?
So we have some are full-time employees, some are part-time. So we range about 20 to 25 employees that are in and out of the center. Our full-time employees, though, we do keep them in the classrooms and keep it consistent so the kiddos get used to their teachers. So we have 6 teachers that are here on a daily basis in the classrooms. We have like head leader teachers that will be in their classrooms.
Okay, so you have quite a large staff.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
Yes, we do. And then when we have to, also have staff for our extended care program as well. So there's quite a bit of us that bounce around and help each other out when needed. Yes.
Now, the teachers, do they go through a certification program?
Yes. All of our teachers go through the training, DHS training, all of the clearances. There are a majority of our teachers here that have a degree in elementary education, have taught in the past, and then have come here for some lower key kind of teaching to still be connected with children, but not the responsibility that maybe a teacher may have in the school district.
Okay. Now, at this point, can you tell us about the new programs that you may be implementing or?
Sure. Yeah, so as Ashley talked about, we have our KRAP program that we're trying to implement in the Bethel Park schools. So this is to help out with the parents too that, need full day kindergarten, but we don't offer that here at Bethel Park. As you can see, our facility here is a house, so it is rather small. So we tend to be busting out of the seams at times. So what we're trying to do is keep it consistent and help out as many parents in the community that we can with our kindergarten program. So with that being said, if we have the kindergartners at Washington School, that's allowing us to have more space here for more kids to come in to the Lois Johnson Center here on Brightwood.
Okay. So you're pretty much involved with the Bethel Park School District.
Yeah, so we've had several meetings with our superintendent as well as the principals. We are actually trying to implement the same curriculum that they are using at the Bethel Park School District. That's something that we're working on, and we've talked to our parents about that. We're excited to, make sure that our kindergartners are prepared and ready to start kindergarten and knowing what they need to know. Kindergarten's way different than when I went to school, I feel like, and maybe when you went too.
Oh, yeah.
They are expected to learn a lot. So from the time that they start here at Lois Johnson to the time that they go on to the kindergarten, the schools, we hope and that they are well prepared, and that's what we're looking into right now to make sure that they are.
Okay. And before we take a little tour of the facility, is there anything else that you want to let our viewers know?
Sure. So with the KRAP program that we are implementing, we do also offer before care and after care at the schools. And that is actually going to start at all of our elementary schools this year, including William Penn, which was not included last year. So if you need some extra help with your kiddos in the morning before you go to work or after, our programs start at 6 o'clock in the morning, or 6:30 in the morning, till 6 o'clock in the evening. So with that being said, we have staff at all the elementary schools that will care for the children up until 9 o'clock, when the schools then would take over with their own staff. And then our staff goes back into the schools at 3:45, and we are there till 6 o'clock in the evening. And that is all part of Lois Johnson. So if that's something that you need or need extra care, please give us a call and we can get your kiddos signed up. Space is limited, but we do have plenty of space now for the fall program. So we are now standing outside in front of the building. And as far as drop off and pick up, we have 2 different entrances that you would use for the kiddos. So down here, as you could see, the red door, that's for the younger kiddos that we just recently talked about, your infants, your 1 and 2 year olds. And then if you go up the steps, that's where the older children would be entering into the building. There is a doorbell that is located at the front, so you just ring the doorbell so our staff knows that someone is here. The door is always locked, of course. No one is able to get into the building without ringing that doorbell. And as far as downstairs, being that the infant classroom is right here where the door is and you could see through, the parents just give a little knock on the door usually, and then our staff will come and let them in. Okay, we are now in our 4-year-old classroom. This is their pet fish, Fluffy the fish. So we try to have as much interaction in this classroom as we can, and kind of sectioning off the classroom so it's more structured and less room for just running around and not staying busy.
This is our 3-year-old classroom currently. We do sometimes switch them around based on the amount of kids we have in each class. So this is where our 3-year-olds have center time, they have their classroom time, art time, play time, our lovely little reading quiet corner over there. Our 3s and 4-year-olds both have lunch and snack time over in our kitchen area over there. One of the first things we did when we took over the center was to implement a new lunch menu. We wanted to kind of broaden the children's palates. They'd been having the consistent same lunches for a while, so we implemented a monthly menu. We do alter our selections monthly. We let the kids vote on it. They decided what they liked last month, what they didn't like, and then something new that they want to see on our menus. And every day it meets our national standards. So they have a protein, a dairy, a vegetable, a fruit, and a grain. The children have really took to it. They love it. And like I said, they let us know if they like it or they don't like it. But they've really started to eat a lot of new things, and their parents are really happy about it too.
Okay, and now we are in our 5-year-old classroom. Again, we have plenty of activities, interaction with the kiddos and the teachers, blocks, puzzles. As you can see, they are very busy doing different types of crafts, changing bulletin boards, making the room as colorful and as fun as they can. And then every classroom does have their own cubbies as well that we keep book bags, their blankets, anything that they may need during our nap time as well.
We're downstairs at Lois Johnson Learning Center. This is our current 2-year-old classroom. We do have a bathroom in this side of this classroom to help with potty training. And you're probably wondering where all of our kids are right now. They are outside on the deck, and the older ones are out in the playground. We are having water day. So even if you think you don't get enough sunlight down here, the kids are mandated to go outside several times a day.
So this is the backyard of the facility where the kiddos play. We do have it sectioned off to different age groups. So right behind us, you can see we have equipment here for the older children. So we do have our older kiddos that get to play over here on the equipment, ages 3 and up. Here on the back deck, we try to have then the younger kiddos back here. We have some riding toys for them so they can get some fresh air as well. Plus, we also have the backyard gated off into different sections as well to keep the kids separated according to their appropriate age group.
All right, Ashley, well, thank you very much for the tour of your place. It was certainly enlightening for myself to listen to all that you do here. Again, it's more than just the building on Brightwood Road that watches kids. And if there are any last things you'd like to say before we wrap this up?
We are looking to expand, and hopefully in the fall of this year we get everything together, and we will be opening a second center location in South Park, right off of Brownsville Road Extension. So look for that in the future, and call us if you have any information or need any information, 412-835-7324. Thanks.
And that'll be Lois Johnson also?
Yeah, it'll be
Same
Lois
name?
Johnson Learning and Child Care Center.
Okay,
Yep.
well, thank you very much.
Thank
It was
you.
a pleasure.
Pleasure for me too.
Well, thanks for watching our show today. I hope it was informative and you learned something new. And we look forward to seeing you next month.